months ago, I was invited to talk at an event at a high school, and I thought, yeah, sure, that sounds good. I've done that a lot. I'm very comfortable with speaking and teaching. I think I know a little bit after 35 years. I thought, I can do this. And so I said yes. Fast forward to 2 weeks ago, I finally had enough time to look at the material that was sent to me, and I discovered that it was a TED Talk. Not a big deal. And then I had to condense everything I thought I knew into 8 minutes. And there'd be cameras and rehearsals, and all of a sudden I'm out of my comfort zone and I am in a panic. Like, oh my God, I can't do this. This is not my comfort level. I don't know what to do. This is too hard. It's too much work. I'm not prepared. How am I ever going to pull something together? I don't even know what to talk about. And so checked with a few of my students and ran this by them, and just like fussing over, I don't even know. And then I thought what I could do is use some of the advice I give for myself. It occurred to me, I could talk about this, about that tendency to, I'm going to say yes, and then all of a sudden all the no's are starting. I recalled what a wonderful teacher of mine told me, maybe 30 years at the beginning of my practice. She said, we're born with everything we need to know. I thought, good advice, good advice. We know from the time we're born who we are, what we want, what we need, and we have the motivation to get there. And I thought, what a great gem to start with this, which is the power of no. It's innate in us. We're born, you see, from about birth to 2.5 years, human beings perfect that. As early as 3-4 months, you'll see a newborn, a young infant, no to the milk, no to the diaper change, protest this, protest that. Everything is no in the first several months of life. No, 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 no. Anybody ever seen that in a child? No. And then what they call the terrible twos, when no gets really intensified. Everything is no. The parents and caretakers call it the terrible twos. From that child's perspective, it's the terrific twos. From the child's perspective, we are establishing, no, that's not who I am. No, I don't want that. No, I'm going to protest that. That isn't me. Right? And that's critical part of development. We go through that very early in our lives as we start to individuate and become ourselves in the world. We revisit this process throughout our development in adolescence, in young adulthood, in middle age, in retirement, at this age. We go through that process. And it's a time that we discover, these are my boundaries. This is who I am. And this is what's not okay. When no gets shut down, in my case, it got kind of shut down with fear, like, oh, I can't do this, fear and self-doubt. That's a deal breaker for a lot of us. I don't even want to try. But it can be shut down in a way that we lose our power. We lose our power to set boundaries. We lose the power to say, what our capacity is. We lose our power to protest. So we lose that power to protest. And without that, we can't get to the next stage which says, yes, I want that. That would be a good thing to do. That would be interesting. Yes, I want to have a voice. I want to make a difference. I want to do something. I know my boundaries. I know what I can't do. But yeah, I'd like to do that. And then even yes can get compromised. It can be shut down with direct and indirect messages. That's not what we do. That's not what our family does. You're not smart enough. You're not the right race. You're not the right ethnicity. You don't have enough money. You're a boy. You're a girl. You shouldn't want that. All that desire gets shut down. When the world around us is saying no to our yeses and yes to our nos, we've completely lost our voice. In order to navigate through this world in a healthy way, we have to remember we know inside what's not okay with us. We know inside who we are and what isn't right. And in spite of the world kind of shutting that down for various reasons, we have to trust our own no. And then we have to find that courage to say, yes, I am going to go for this, even if you're telling me I can't, or I shouldn't, or this isn't the right direction, or you're not going to make enough money, or you're supposed to go here or go there. We get to discover that for ourselves when it comes to really critical times in your life. When it comes to finding out where am I going to go on this journey. Remember when I graduated from high school, way back maybe 100 years ago, there weren't a lot of choices for women. I could get married, or I could go to get a job until I found a husband. I didn't want any of those. So I stayed in no for a long time. I don't want that, I don't want to do that, I don't want to do that. At some point, I found out that I have to do something respectable, so I found school. I'll just go to school. And I stayed in school for a very long time, but most of that was to avoid getting a job. I still didn't have a clear yes, because I still had inside me those voices saying, you can't do that, you can't do that. And in leaning into that yes, I found the courage, and I found that certainty. And from that point, that's the gym. We can find that little gym inside us. What's right for me? What's right for the world as I see it? And how can I come into this and make a difference? How can I use that power of saying no, my definition, and that courage of saying yes to make a difference in this world? And I hope each of you will learn how to, as you go forward in your lives, check in it and seriously, what do I want to change in this world? That's the no. How do I want to make a difference? That's the yes. And it begins with us. And then we find the courage to take it out in the world. Thank you.